So that's why I'm looking at the ranking, the spatial scope, the objective of the ranking, and the what are the measure to what is the method to measure such a dimension, and most important thing, what have been mentioned in terms of spatial conditions, as well as how it is measured, how they are measured, for instance. So I was looking at 48 most prominent world rankings, city rankings, and try to look at the aforementioned aspects. So in general, quality of living 18, innovative knowledge 7, business investment 7, economic performance 7, ecological ranking, tourism, and so on. So what I would like, well, I'll skip this one. This is more like a research on how the data, how the method they are deployed. So actually, we find what is the most important thing. What is really jumping out is the again mobility, accessibility. Is ranking rather important in all the rankings that I've selected. Housing is important as well. However, the measurement is only by price per square meter. They don't explain more. Of course, it's very easy to imagine because it's the most easy way to calculate quantitative way. And they don't mention about urban form. They don't mention about the flagship urban projects. But actually, these two are, for me, are the key elements that I would like to look at. Because if you only use a quantitative method, of course, qualitative aspect disappear. So, summarizing the aforementioned 4 special characteristics I'm interested in, namely urban form, mobility, housing, flagship projects. These are the 4 major aspects I'm looking at. So, but I have to have database to support my research. So very luckily, fortunately, I have the grant to access the database from TNO. TNO starting from 2002, every 2 years they evaluate the economic performance quantitative way of major 20 European cities. And based on their data they offer me, they have 40 or 50 different criteria. However, I chose GDP per capita as well and GDP growth. I have to say that there are a lot of criticism in terms of using GDP to measure a city or a nation's performance because it doesn't have any moral value inside. For instance, you damage the environment, you clean it up, you add to your GDP. Let's say, simply say that. But however, for me, that's the most prominent way and easiest way to standardize all the data. Otherwise, sometimes you cannot compare the cases. Using their database, among the 20 city regions, you can see, this is how I come up with my case study selections. First, cities with higher GDP per capita. The red dots are in the year 2007. The black dots are the red dots are from 1995 to 2007, but the black dots are from 1995 to 2008. So from there, I select the most richest in terms of GDP per capita regions, namely Copenhagen, Munich, and Stockholm. And the lower 3 are Lisbon, Berlin, and Barcelona. Because in this case, I exclude the newly joined cities from Eastern European countries, Eastern European cities. In terms of growth, we can see Dublin, Stockholm, Madrid. From the lowest growth is Berlin, Ruhrgebiet, Rhine-Ruhr area, and Milan. So, this step, do they have a special characteristic in common? Now we have to test on the case studies. Using these 4 criteria to test on these 10 case studies, because there are 2 overlapping. One is Stockholm, one is Berlin. This appears in different categories. But in general, that's what I'm trying to do. And in terms of, to be more specific, in terms of urban form, what I'm looking at is here. Like starting from post-war development, mobility, I'm looking at different layers in terms of scale. Housing is the housing tenure typologies and the concentration of typologies. The flagship projects, I'm looking at the attributes, the program, location, and the investment and result, for instance. But coming back, it's hard to separate sometimes spatial economy and the spatial conditions. So understand that. Having said so, I understand the importance to consider so-called external factors, like macroeconomic policy, external fundings, business environment, even the niche market they are establishing, and also the cultural links, for instance, you are able to see in the next case studies. Okay, now I look at there's three most important lines: World War II, Berlin Wall collapse, and the economic crisis just happening now. I was looking at the economic strategy and planning agenda and the special outcomes, for instance. In the case of Copenhagen, now I have to read. It was not considered as the major investment area before, because the Danish government doesn't even consider it as even though it's a capital, but because before Berlin Wall, it was very enclosed, it was very peripheral in terms of geographic condition. So Danish government, they even invest the other cities rather than the Copenhagen. So during the whole 80s, it's really economic stagnations. However, things change after Berlin Wall fall, because the new focus on Copenhagen as a new opportunity in the post-Berlin Wall era. And there's a formation, so-called cross-national region, later on you see, the so-called, it's a very interesting case, because it's not only, they are cooperating with Malmö and Copenhagen as one cross-national region. So that's why they build this fixed link, the bridge, to link Malmö and Copenhagen in order to increase its encatchment area for labor, for knowledge, and so on. And with that effort, now they are focusing. They invented so-called idea of Medicam Valley, because it's more specialized in the life science. And it's also one of the lowest unemployment and lowest social segregation record in this according to their welfare policy. And in terms of urban governance, it's very consensus-driven urban governance. So I will show you later on in the plan documents, because it has a long tradition integrating urban growth and public transport, and even in the so-called self-sufficient sub-centers along the public transport networks. And in the case of Munich, maybe I can explain you now a little bit. So this is what I'm saying. Copenhagen, Malmö, now they are forming a so-called cross-national region to make it a stronger region. And what is interesting is they have a very consistent urban planning idea. See, look at this, the finger plan, starting from 1947. It started as an informal planning document. It was not even a plan by the government. It was commissioned to a private developer. But what is amazing is, even until now, the idea that is valid and is very strongly dominant in all planning documents. You can see, crossing the time from 1974 until now, the central idea still remains as the fingerprints. This is the fixed thing I'm saying, linking Malmö and Copenhagen. And this is in the Copenhagen, in the inner city area. It's already very compact, let's say. But they make it even more compact, starting from 50s already. So the new urban projects are intensification of inner city area, the old harbor area. For me, it's nothing new in Europe. But for me, what is new is they really take that position in a very early stage. That's different. And the new generation of urban project is here, using the opportunity of an international airport, linking with the inner city, because the airport is not far away from city center. So they are using this corridor, using new mobility method to come up with a new land. This strip, it's called Udestad. This is the strip